Like this? Oh,
You're not waving a hammer around, Aaron. Try a gentler touch.
and my big sausage fingers don't really do gentle, okay?
Bring it back. Trace the line. To your right. Other right.
I just saw it. It's the one Aloy found up north. Gotcha! They call it a concussion beat party or something. Yeah, now that's music.
Aloy!
Erend, you're all better. And you're here.
Well, the world only goes on if you can do your thing. We learn fast enough, we help make that happen. You want all the backup you can get, right?
We still have much training to do, of course. One does not become hunter in a day.
Each seed grows at a pace of its own. Doesn't mean it won't bloom. You should know your Tanakh friend arrived.
Katalo.
I heard their warriors drink people's blood. I want to sleep with one eye open.
I think he's seen enough blood for a lifetime.
I showed him to one of the rooms. He seems to appreciate the privacy.
Looks like you've got things under control. I should get this to Gaia.
Right. We'll keep on training. Catch up as fast as we can.
I'm seeing glyphs in my dreams already.
Well, while you've been off gallivanting around, I've been working with Gaia to find out more about the land gods. So from where I'm standing, you're in need of some training. Come along.
Okay. Oh, and I delivered your message to Talana. She headed for that Oseram camp you two were looking for, to the southwest.
What?
Nothing? Good. That's all.
Get back to studying.
So they carved them. Pumpkins.
Hey,
Hey.
a nice place.
Well, it's not like I built it or anything.
Right. Well, I can see why you, it is a lot to take in. But, don't worry. That's nothing I can't handle.
Right. I was hoping you could help me with something. And it also has to do with the
Really? That doesn't sound good. Let me know what I can do to help.
I discovered an Oseram militant group. They call themselves the Sons of Prometheus. It looks like they're the ones overriding machines for the Tanakh rebels.
I thought that was something only you could do.
They're familiar with ancient tech. And they're as anti-Karja as it gets.
So, last year we stopped Durval and his cronies from blowing up Meridian in retribution for the Red Raids. And now you're telling me we have another group of Oseram trying to wipe out the with an army of machines and bloodthirsty Tanakh?
Pretty much.
Oh, well, that's just great!
Is there any way you can help me find out who they are? Anything to track them down and stop?
Yeah, I can send out some messages from Chen, get in touch with my contacts in the claim.
I'd appreciate that. I guess you know what we're up against by now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When Varl first told me those bastards come from the stars, I thought he'd eaten too many of those medicinal... Yeah, but I've gotten used to seeing impossible things. Thanks. I just wish they weren't always trying to kill us.
Yeah, you and me both. I see Varl gave you a focus.
Well, it doesn't look as fashionable on me, but by the Forge, granted, a lot of them are bad, you know, the old... I'm still trying to wrap my head around most of it. I never really understood how you were ever able to find my sister back in... And now I do. It makes me feel like I could be...
It takes some time. How are you settling in?
Yeah, Varl's been helping me get the lay of the land. I don't know who makes him more nervous, that Gaia lady or our new Utaru.
Well, what about the Vanguard? Are you...
I sent some of them back to Meridian. I doubt Avad will mind me sticking around to help them.
So, you've met our new...
He's, I thought his people were supposed to be bloodthirsty.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you try...
So Talana came by the base?
I'm more like rushed through. I was hoping she'd stay for a drink. Only Carja I've ever met who's any... But it seemed like she had more press.
Oh, and I'll let you know if I find out.
Same here.
The old ones created so many wonderful inventions to help others. To help the planet.
Wow, this place is starting to come along.
Yeah, and Gaia placed all the data she got from your focus. With the focuses you gave us, we'll be able to access it at our own, learn. And if you need us...
Got it. Looks like I was wrong about the Z. Their ship didn't explode on its way to Sirius like everyone thought.
And we saw how they lied about creating a better future. Guess they lied about what happened to their ship. But still, the tribes settling amongst the stars.
I couldn't put a single dent in their shields, Varl.
That didn't stop you from resurrecting. Won't stop us from using Hephaestus.
Let's hope that's... How's, training with Zoe?
You know we really are training. Look, she reads glyphs faster than I can already. I'd be a fool to refuse her help.
Of course. You guys reading something?
We just finished going through all the logs you collected back in Nora and All Mother Mountain. It's hard to imagine that my ancestors were without the knowledge from Apollo to...
Thanks to Ted.
Yeah. I wonder how it must have felt when they were finally free. The world must have seemed so...
Not to mention terrifying. They weren't much more than...
And they became an entire...
I'm guessing you've spoken with Cthulhu?
I wanted to pay my respects for those who fell when we were ambushed. I told him I'd never seen anyone throw themselves at a machine like he did. He said a warrior shouldn't be praised for fulfilling the... For a second I thought I was talking to my mother. Never thought a Tanakh and a Nora war chief could have so much...
I'm guessing Talana didn't stay for long?
You got that right. Makes you wonder what this Amadis guy did to grab...
Whatever it was, she didn't tell me.
Must be quite a story.
I guess she'll tell us when she's... How's everyone handling their...
And we all have our difficult moments. Errant definitely curses the most. But I'm hoping Oseram's stubbornness prevails.
How's everyone doing?
Just taking it all in. No one snapped their bowstring.
Think you can hold the fort?
If Aaron stops listening to the same music, oh, we'll be fine.
Varl,
Learning is best done together.
have you gone back to Plainsong?
I thought about it. But the chorus already thinks me a thorn. If they knew what we did to Fa, even if they understood, there'd be little they could grasp of this. No. For now, I must...
Sounds like you met my friend Talana.
Yes. The Karja Huntress. I haven't seen armor like hers, but Varl tells me that she too suffered at the hands...
Yeah. You've spoken with Cthulhu?
A few words. Tanakhs don't have much use. You must have made quite the impression for him.
So you've been talking to Gaia?
Yes. She was kind enough to take me through some of the history of the old, including their demise, and the hero... I was surprised to see she was past, but reborn?
You've been getting to know Erend,
Of course. Any friend of Varl's is a friend of mine. In this case, a very loud friend.
What are you up to?
Gaia was kind enough to put together a list of glyphs. She helped me decipher some of the data you've collected, and it's not easy, but...
That's good to hear. I see you've settled in.
Gaia did say this place was built so we could regain control of our lands with her terraforming system. Nurture them like the land gods do plains. It does strike me as odd that a place of life should have so much metal.
Did Gaia tell you anything?
She did. Though it wasn't exactly easy. To think that there are places among the stars where life can bloom as it is humbling and heartbreaking that such life should be bent on destruction.
So, how does a tribe like the Utar warriors like that?
By holding them off. When our fields bloomed aplenty, but Plainsong's dishes provided sanctuary. In the end, even the Tanakhs, the Utaru promised in exchange. This custom was abandoned a few years after the derangement. But some veterans still remain in the...
I believe I've met... I've been meaning to ask, What's the deal with you? Didn't seem to be on the best of...
That's what happens when you're the one Utaru who insists on publicly defying them. When the Karja invaded the Utaru plains, they did more than just attack our villages. They burned our fields. Those who were too weak to make the trip back to Meridian.
To be sacrificed in this...
I was helping the healers back then. The chorus was divided in how to face the invaders. Others believed the dishes would keep us safe. And while they bickered, I buried the seeds of the fallen.
It couldn't have been easy. Seeing your people suffer while...
I come from a small village near... My grandmother used to say there was no seed that wouldn't grow there. I moved to the dishes when I decided to apprentice as... When the Red Raids began, I thought about going back, but the injured kept pouring into Plainsong. One day, I woke up to hear a Karja raiding party had ransacked my... I rushed there with the healers to help the smell of burning flesh.
I'm sorry, Zoe.
I made it a point to appear before the chorus, to demand that we take a stand against the... I was denied.
Right,
I shall
Welcome back, Aloy. When you're ready, please... merge ether with me. Afterwards, I must discuss an important matter with you.
So, what did you want to discuss?
While you were away, I received an unusual transmission on my dedicated Aletheia frequency.
Aletheia. That's one of the sub-functions you couldn't detect before.
Yes. The transmission occurred so slowly that at first it seemed like an accidental blip of data amongst background static. Once I noticed this irregularity, it took some time to collate the complete message.
Coordinates. Where does it lead?
To a mountain to the northwest of this facility. A word of caution, Aloy. It is possible this transmission is genuine. It is also possible it is being broadcast by someone or something else.
You don't think it's actually Aletheia?
I am uncertain.
What's SOS?
It is an old-world code. A distress signal. A desperate plea for help.
Why would Eleuthia send a coded transmission on a frequency?
I believe it was done as a precaution to avoid detection, or at least to create the appearance of the desire. I am also uncertain why Eleuthia would expect that I would be able to detect. As far as it is aware, I no longer function.
Okay, so either Eleuthia is in trouble and sent the message, or someone else is trying to get us to go to these coordinates, pretending to be Eleuthia.
That is my conclusion as well.
Could the Zeniths be sending the transmission?
According to the data I reviewed on your the Zeniths recovered the other Gaia root kernel in the Hades, prove it is feasible they used it to gain access to.
So, maybe they sent it thinking you'd respond and reveal your location.
Possibly. However, the transmission is high. If they intended to provoke me into reveal, I would expect the communication to be more routine.
Right. So maybe it's not that. You said the coordinates lead to a mountain to the northwest. What's there?
I have no record of anything of note in that vicinity.
Okay, and what about the other number in the message? 237. Any idea what that means?
I have queried my available databases, but it does not appear to have any significance. Perhaps its meaning can only be understood at the indicated coordinate.
Alright, I'll go to the coordinates and check out the source of the transmission.
All by yourself? Ha! No way.
I included Erend and Varl in this briefing via their focuses. I concur that you should not investigate this alone.
What if it's a trap?
Of course it could be a trap. But if it really is Eleuthia, then it's in trouble, and I need to bring it back. Don't worry. I'll be careful and...
We're coming with you.
Fine. Go grab your things.
We'll wait for you at the west exit, in case you need to upgrade your gear.
To unlock another room in the main living area.
Good to know. I'll check it out when I can.
Where have I seen this before? Did you forget something?
You said you set out to fight the...
I did. News of my disagreement. Before we knew we ambushed, sabotaged their supply lines, and hit their encampments at...
Sounds like you were forced...
Enough that the Tenakth took notice. When the clans began to push the Karja back east, they let us join. We chased the enemy all the way.
You said you were at Barren Light when the
Tenakth marshals climbed the cliffs of the Daunt under cover of night. Then attacked from the others. Before we knew it, the gates were open, and the full force of the clans burst through. What happened next was... when all the dust and blood settled... I smelled it again. Our enemies defeated. What was left of my squad returned to the Utaru. I went back to Plainsong. But even as the harvests passed, it didn't feel like I'd truly returned at all.
Is that when you...
I thought soothing the suffering of others. Then you came along. I could either sing at people's...
I'm glad you chose... Right.
Is it true you're investigating a...
Maybe. We'll know for sure when we check.
Be careful.
We will. Looks like this room's changed. Is that your doing? Gaia?
Yes. I have repurposed the displays to track the cauldrons you have acquired data from.
Aloy,
It's good as...
I've been told of our enemy. Your friends showed me to the... and gave me this focus. But all I really need to know is where to train.
Welcome to the team. You said the Bulwark was your home a long time.
Yes.
That's all you're gonna tell me?
Fine. As you wish. My parents were killed in a clan skirmish, so I was raised by my squad. As I grew older, I came to be known as an accomplished fighter. Tekote took a special interest in... I fought by his side against the Karja, and led my squad on a dangerous climb into the Daunt. It was I who opened the gates at Barren Light from the east side, allowing the Tenakth to raise it.
That must have gotten you some attention.
Indeed. I was welcomed home as a hero.
And why'd you leave?
I became a marshal.
Why did you leave the sky?
I was sent to the Kulrut, but back then I would have obeyed his every order. I believed in him. I was too blind to see the fear of a rising young warrior challenging his command of the... I returned a hero from the battle at Barren Light. But to him, I was only a threat. Never occurred to him that I had no interest in rising above my...
Why did Tekote think you wouldn't be a threat to...
Tekote knew that if I survived the Kulrut, I'd be forced to forsake the clan to serve the Tenakth as I'd never be allowed to challenge his command. After our victory at Barren Light, Tekote spoke to our people, said it would be selfish to rob Hikaru and the marshals of a warrior like myself. Even though he knew perfectly well, I had no intention of ever... It was exile, guised as an honor. So I became a marshal, and never looked back.
I'm sorry you had to go.
I am not. Though it pained me at the time.
When we were at the Bulwark, the guard said something about the wings of... Hikaru also mentioned it at the Kulrut. What does it mean?
The visions tell us that the 10 flew on great metal machines and leapt into battle from the sky. For us, to imitate this feat is the ultimate expression of martial pride. And it is why the challengers leap into the arena during the... Many times I imagined it as a child. The feeling of freedom. And the awe it must have inspired.
What did Chief Hikaru say when you told him he'd be joining me?
You spilt rebel blood at the Grove and helped reunite the clans. There was little more to be said.
Well, I'm honored he lent me his best marshal.
Indeed.
What are you looking at over there?
The others have been helping me decipher the symbols the folk... So, I thought I'd try to understand the weapon you intend to use against the... This Hephaestus. It will be able to make machines? That answer to Gaia?
Yes.
How many?
As many as we need.
Such Power. Has the world ever seen the like?
Now that you know who the enemy is, since...
I'll admit, I find them hard to grab. Vulnerable.
For now.
I will leave. I trust you will point my blade where it will.
You've had...
I admit, farmers seek for effect.
I'm told Shelly'd summoned and fought...
Interesting.
I should go. Feel free...
I will. I heard that Varl and Erend are to accompany. Do you require my
I'd rather have you and Zoe guard the...
It shall be done. May the Ten walk with you.
Now that was another one of those...
You ready to head out?
Let's go.
Look it up. This distress call had to be up a really steep mountain, huh?
Vermin.
What is that?
What the hell?
Well, that takes the keg.
Burrow, see if there's anything over there.
On it.
We'll check out the battlefield. Let's start with that zenith. Obviously more Zionists than we know about.
Can't believe you fought one of them.
Almost didn't make it. If the Banuk can survive freezing, so can I. Send this to my stash. Whatever the rebels did, it took down our shield. But why was she here? I can access her last communication file, but I'll use my focus to scan the battlefield too.
What about that crazy weapon the Zenith had?
It looked like she can make it come and go at will. But it's gone now.
Yeah. Well, go do your thing. I'll wait here.
The Spectre had instructions to assist recovery of the asset. I wonder what this asset is. One of the sons of Prometheus. It looks like his focus was sending data on the weapons somewhere else. The weapon's still hot. I need to know how it worked. But I'll have to check on it once it's cooled off. Looks like the rebels camped here for a while. Are they watching this area? All right. I think I have an idea what happened here. I better get back to Erend.
All right, she who sees the unseen. What did you find out?
This was a carefully planned attack. I found camping gear up there. The rebels must have been staking out this place for at least a few days. They were waiting for the Zeniths to show up. All so that they could test that weapon. The Zeniths have a personal shield that makes them invulnerable, but somehow the weapon got rid of it. The Oseram that was operating it was sending data on it somewhere else. It was probably just a prototype.
I've known tinkers that do that. Do a little trial run before breaking out the real thing. Well, I guess it's still a work in progress, if it blew up.
She was searching for something she lost. Her drone had instructions to recover something called the asset.
The asset? Is that the sub-function thing that you said could be here? Eleuthia?
I'm not sure. Come on, let's go talk to Varl. That's a long way down.
Something tunneled straight down into the mountain. Looks recent.
Whatever it was, it must have been powerful. That Zenith the rebels killed was looking for something called... the asset. I don't know what it is, but my guess is it's somewhere down there.
Alright, so we head down.
Erend, stay here and stand watch. That Zenith isn't the only one of its kind. I don't want to be caught by surprise if the others show up. Contact us by focus if you see anything.
Okay. If any trouble shows up, I'll call you.
Let's go. There's some kind of old world ruin down here.
You said the Zeniths have their own backup of Gaia, right?
Yeah, from the Proving Lab.
So maybe they were after Eleuthia. Found its hiding spot, so it sent the distress signal.
Maybe. Looks like some kind of data center. I might be able to access the facility systems from that console. I've never seen a transmitter like this before. Looks like it's self-destructed. This was a Far Zenith research lab. It looks like a lot of data was being cast from here recently. From that device nearby.
So Eleuthea's gone? So, exploring another Far Zenith ruin.
At least this one doesn't seem to have giant killer machines.
Or anything you can blow up. All this stuff. Wonder what they were doing here.
Well, knowing Far Zenith, probably discovering amazing things. For their own benefit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Ectogenic chambers. Like the ones I saw inside a Zero Dawn cradle facility. This place
What were they
keeps
for?
on going. Remember when I told you I was made, not born? This is how.
A machine that makes a person. That's incredible.
Yeah. This place is huge. Some kind of storage room, maybe.
Maybe the asset is in here somewhere.
If it is, somehow the Zenith couldn't find it. Let's look around. So, how is Erend taking all of this? Really?
Well, Gaia, the Zeniths, focus. It's a lot. When I got
Well, he's loyal. that's for sure. The control console. To access the storage units.
Can it tell us if the asset is in one of them?
Well, let's find out.
$236 containers in storage. Please enter the container number you'd like to retrieve.
236? Wasn't there a number in the distress signal?
Right. I should check the log.
Nothing.
$236 containers in storage. Please enter the container number you'd like to retrieve.
How about this?
Empty again.
$236 containers in storage.
Aloy. It's you. Skin's like ice. Must have cut this from her head. But why?
Hello, Elizabeth. Apologies, I don't know what else to call you. My name is Beta. I'm afraid I must be brief. I only have a few minutes before my keepers discover I'm missing, and I still need to remove this implant. I had hoped to find shelter with you, but if you're viewing this, I may be dead. Be careful when you take on Far Zenith. They are ruthless, and they have Eleuthia, Artemis, and Apollo now. But at least they don't have the Gaia kernel to merge them with. You must succeed, or this was all for nothing. Good luck, and goodbye. So she's
still alive.
We need to get her back to...
Oh shit, they can fly? Aloy! Aloy, can you hear me through this thing?
What's going on, Erend?
2 of those spectral things just fell out of the sky. One of them is heading down towards you. The other one's waiting up here.
We're coming up. Stay in cover until I get there.
You got it.
Get her to cover in that room. Whatever happens, she stays with us.
I'll protect her.
I should prepare before the Spectre gets here. I can't let it get through to Varl and the clone. Last one. Here it comes! Ooh, ugly one, aren't you? See if it has any weak spots. That thing's quick! There.
Are you okay, Aloy?
Yeah, I'm heading up top. Stay down here with the clone for now.
Got it. I'll follow once the coast is clear.
get back up top and deal with that other Spectre. I just hope Aaron stays in cover.
Aloy!
Aaron!
Yeah, the Spectre's dug its heels in. It's got me pinned down.
Hang tight. I'm almost there.
Just hurry.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. I gotta get to Aaron. Aaron, I'm here.
Watch out! That thing caught me downstairs.
Stay put. I'll see what I can do. Shields down! It's on the move!
Take this and take him down! Done. Aloy, she's... Look, I swear I'm not drunk, but right now I'm seeing double.
Long story, but it'll have to wait.
She needs a healer, but we need to get her back to the base immediately.
Right. Yeah. Well, what are we waiting for then?
You two go on ahead. I need to take another look at that weapon. If I can figure out how that thing works, maybe the Zeniths won't be so invincible after all. No. Damn it. Well, it's better than nothing. I need to get the weapon fragment to Gaia to analyze. If we can replicate it, maybe we'll have a way to defeat the Zeniths. Errand?
Huh? I mean, why wouldn't I be?
'Cause there's two of me.
There's two of you now! At least you seem to be handling it.
I wouldn't say that. Did you speak with Beta?
She didn't really wake up till we brought her here. I thought it'd be better if Zoe and Var... No use crowding someone when they're in his...
What you reading next?
I saw Gaia added something to the archives about metal rods being used to harness lightning during... Guy reminded me of a cousin. Thought he could trap lightning if he covered himself and went up the tallest mountain in the... It ended like a lot of Oseram things do.
What are you working on with your...
I'm still figuring out how to read stuff. Those two lovebirds over there have been given... But to be honest, all the little symbols. But I'll get up to speed.
I have to get going.
Don't go causing too...
Aloy, you're back.
Yeah, I'm just,
You mean after meeting someone who looks exactly like, but isn't you? Guess this must be even stranger for you than...
a little.
Varl said she may be able to help us in our mission.
Maybe. You said you met Beta?
Varl mentioned she was hurt.
That was kind of you.
I just hope she doesn't plan on staying. She looks like she's barely seen the light of day.
What else have you been up to?
I've been studying Gaia's seedlings. I wanted to understand why one of them would do what they did to Fa. Imagine my surprise when I looked into and found out it helped create all machines. In a way, the Utaru owe Hephaestus our whole way of life, as well as our...
That's why we have to... Learn anything interesting?
There's been much to read up on now that It's hard to imagine that machines like stormbirds once helped heal I used to be terrified of them as a child. But everything Gaia creates has a...
Yeah. And if we can get Hephaestus... I need to get...
May the Aloy, we've gathered some supplies in that chest. Take what you need.
Aloy! Glad you made it back okay. She panicked after waking up and stumbled down here. I thought it best to wait for you.
I'll talk to her. Hello? It's Beta, right? My name's Aloy. What's wrong? Is it your injury?
Simulacrum withdrawal syndrome.
I don't understand.
Sudden removal of a neurologically integrated data device. The brain, especially the cerebellum, goes into a kind of sensory freefall. Everything real feels unreal. Distant.
Is there anything that can help?
Do you have a focus to spare? It's primitive, but I can make it work.
Yeah.
Booting up.
So, Aloy, I suppose you want information. About you and the Zeniths? Yeah. Why are they here? What do they want? How did they get you? But let's start at the beginning. I'm guessing they faked the destruction of their ship 1,000 years ago?
That seems consistent with their behavior. They wouldn't want to be followed.
So far, Zenith established a colony world after all.
Yes, for a few hundred years, but it didn't last. Some sort of natural disaster rendered it uninhabitable.
Okay, so... the descendants of Far Zenith escaped a dying planet, and now they want to claim Earth for themselves?
Not their descendants.
What?
Not their descendants. It's them. The same ones who left Earth 1,000 years ago. You didn't know?
How can they still be alive? They don't even look... What did they do to themselves?
I believe it's a combination of pharmaceutical, cellular treatments, and technological implants.
And you? Does that mean that you're...
I'm not like them. I was made. On the way to Earth. On the ship. I spent years studying in my training interface. All so that I could serve my function.
Access and control of the terraforming system. But why? What do the Zeniths want with it?
When I discovered the Zero Dawn system had disseminated into its subcomponents, I thought my purpose was to fix it. But I don't think the Zeniths want that at all. I think they want to wipe Earth clean and start over.
So the Zeniths want to exterminate life on Earth. But why? Why kill everyone just to...
When they took me on missions with them, I saw how they... butchered. The tribal people they didn't seem to care about a rejuvenated Earth, so... I concluded that they must want a hard reboot of this, then they can redesign it.
To mass extinction for their own comfort? Who thinks like that? Well, without their Gaia kernel, they'll have a hard time doing... The Zeniths needed Elizabeth's gene print to access Zero Dawn, so they made you. And you went along with it?
They told me I was born to interface with the Zero Dawn system. When we reached Earth, that's when I started to realize I wasn't meant to fix, that they must have made me, so I could do what their remote extinction signal failed to do, reboot Earth.
So you know about the extinction signal?
It was speculation, but the only logical conclusion is self-destructed after operating efficiently. Gaia would have only undertaken such a action if it had detected a threat to life on Earth that was more dangerous than ceasing function. I should have realized that she would also order the
Yeah, well... So we're dealing with the same Far Zenith people who once lived... What else do you know about...
They were some of the most affluent and powerful people on Earth. Every industry. Gerard commands them. He's the one who decided to set up a base. The others, Eric, Tilda, Verbena, they resent his authority over them, but in the end, they always do.
Eric. He's the one I fought back in the Hades Proving.
He enjoys hurting people.
Yeah. You mentioned the Zenith set up a base here on Earth. Where is it?
Off the coast, I think. Whenever I had to go on missions, I couldn't see anything outside. But I did overhear the Zeniths talk. They were discussing setting up a perimeter energy shield to repel the local fauna. I'm certain they have other security measures. Spectre patrols, mission.
What's inside the base?
Launch facilities, so they can shuttle back and forth. Plus, infrastructure to gather materials and fabricate.
Are there more Zeniths than the one?
I'm not sure. I suppose, for all I know, there could be more of them out in other survivors of the colony.
You said the Zenith's colony in the Sirius system was destroyed.
All I was ever told was that a natural disaster forced them to leave Sirius. I've speculated that it was or maybe even an abnormally violent coronal massage.
The Zeniths never told you any
They said the only thing that mattered was that they first Earth 1,000 years ago, and then Sirius.
Guess they survived all. How did you escape?
Before the Hades Proving Lab, I never thought I'd get away from them, even if I were to run. I'd never. Then I saw you. And I thought that maybe you could help. So when the Zeniths pinpointed Eluthia's location in the biomedical research, I saw an opportunity.
You said you saw an opportunity to escape. What did you do?
Whenever I was taken out on a mission to recover a support, only one of the Zeniths would...
The one the rebels killed. Outside the...
Bane's dead? How did they bypass her
I'm looking into it. But you were talking...
Well, when it was time to use the Zenith's transmitter to send Eluthia back to... I also sent the encrypted transmission. Then I distracted Verbena long enough to seal myself in the ectogenic, altering the facility's log so it appeared that there were only 236 containers.
And the Gaia root kernel?
I told them I could capture Eluthia faster if I had it with me, and they...
Well done. You said you were born on the way to Earth. In an artificial womb?
The Zeniths had an ectogenic chamber, an updated version of the one you found me. They must have used a stored sample of Elizabeth.
I doubt Elizabeth would have let them take her DNA.
That wasn't part of the archive I was allowed.
You said you spent years studying in a... Was this archive you mentioned?
But only the parts I was permitted to. Aristotle and Aspasia, the avatars, would assign me learning modules and evaluate my progress.
Wait, those names... They were designed to be the virtual guides for the Apollo data before Ted Faro purged.
The Zeniths have a copy.
So it still exists.
Only what was deemed pertinent to the mission. If I requested information outside of my parameters...
To have all that knowledge, just out of reach. Must have been frustrating. All right, I think that's enough for now.
So how long? You know, your plan. How long before Gaia's fabricated a machine army?
How did you know?
Optimal strategy, so?
Well, I still have to get 2 more subordinate functions, but before Gaia's powerful enough to absorb...
What? You don't have Hephaestus already?
Gaia's still figuring out how to capture it. It's not confined to a single location, of course not!
You didn't even know who the Zeniths really are. You were supposed to be further along. Coming here was a mistake. They're gonna find me. They're gonna find this place.
They're not going to find us. Gaia's using Minerva to mask our location.
What difference does it make? We're never going to beat them, everything!
Hey! You're here now, right? So is there anything you can do to help?
I have certain knowledge sets. And given your state of progress, expertise you probably lack. Geoengineering, of course. Computer science, physics.
Okay. Well, see if you can do something with that. I'll check on you.
How'd it go?
Her injury's not that bad, but I think she regrets coming here.
I'll come back later and talk to her.
I should get the weapon fragment to Gaia.
So the old ones painted their faces with something called makeup.